Thank you all for joining us. Blessed to be a part of your day. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. And this is a young man that we've been waiting for. We've been chasing. We have a lot of issues with him, and he's going to feel the pain. Matthew Conde joining us from AAA, Idaho and Oregon. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
I'm blaming you for the high cost of gas, sir.
Well, I'm feeling the pain just like everybody else. But these are the highest gas prices we've paid since 2014. But to put it into perspective, we're still about, 50 cents less than we were in 2014. So not that long ago, we were paying quite a bit more than we are today.
Yes, you, and putting it in perspective. I'm in pain, Matthew. I'm in pain.
Well, it's one of those things with, a really mild winter and explosive population growth around here. It just comes down to the fact that the supply is stagnant. There's not really a big disruption to the supply lately. And really, it's just a matter of people out there traveling more. Consumer confidence has continued to go up over the past few years. And this is kind of the byproduct of that.
Yeah, that's the thing that I don't get. A few years ago, it would be, okay, there was some disruption in the pipeline, this, that, and the other, but there seems to be no apparent reason to jack up the prices of oil.
Well, right now we're looking at a situation where if you look at the Rockies region, we create about 0.7 million gallons of finished product a day, and it's actually one of the smallest producing regions in the country. And because of that, we have a fairly stagnant supply line, very predictable and very easy to follow, barring any disruptions. And in this case, we have a situation where we've got a lot of people out there ready to hit the road. As I say, consumer confidence being where it is and more people having discretionary spending and disposable income, it creates sort of a bidding war for the available supply. And so everybody, not just in Idaho, but you look at places like Pennsylvania and New Jersey that are pushing higher and higher and higher right now.
Matthew Conde joining us here, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Kevin Miller here. I'm with you. But, Idaho, we have high gas prices, Matthew, as you know, and again, in jest when we say we're going to, we've been looking for you. But on the other hand, you would think that some do-gooding public servant, we've had the endless commercials, the endless flyers, would come up with a legitimate solution to, the pipeline from Salt Lake, and it's always been that way, and it's always going to be that way. We did put a man on the moon 40 or 50 years ago, allegedly. Why can't we, find a way to at least significantly lower the price of gasoline here in Idaho?
I think it would be a matter of producing more supply on a certain level, and you've got a situation where the unintended consequence of electric vehicles, for better or for worse, is that these petroleum companies continue to delay any long-term expansion because there's not really a situation where you want to be the last guy who's building a cassette tape factory when the CDs are coming to town.
Matthew, let's talk a little bit about Memorial Day weekend, the kickoff of summer. How many people do you believe will be on the roads?
It's going to be a big number. We're looking at 41.5 million travelers. That's 2 million up from last year. And the growth is more than double the growth of last year. So again, it's with every holiday year over year for the last three that we track these numbers pretty closely, of course, but the last few years have seen year over year growth in every major holiday. And that again speaks to the fact that people are ready to go and they're financing their travel through debt. And it points back to gas prices as well, where gas prices are the lifeblood of everything else we're doing. Looks like it's going to be about 220,000 Idahoans.
Matthew Conde continues with us here. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Matthew?
It's important to plan ahead. There's a lot of congestion on the roads these days, with the evening commuters mixing together with people hitting the road. This afternoon and especially tomorrow afternoon should be your busiest times. But we would tell people to be extra careful out there. There's going to be lots of people on the road, and there's going to be people traveling when they would normally be asleep. They're trying to push themselves, and they're traveling late at night, early in the morning. A lot of the culprits you'll typically see are going to be weak batteries, flat tires, vehicle lockouts, ineffective engine cooling. All those things can be checked for the most part before you hit the road. So we would recommend that people do a quick visual inspection, look for low fluid levels, corrosion on battery terminals, any drips or leaks, and take care of all those things before you hit the road. But we expect to rescue somewhere around 340,000 drivers over the long weekend nationwide.
Matthew Conde, AAA Idaho and Oregon, thank you.
You're a good man. I'll talk to you later.
All right, we go to Tom Munns, TomMunns.com, Munns Tom Twitter on KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM, 107.5 FM. Well, Tom, we appreciate you holding on, and thanks for calling in. Dina joins us now from the Boise Rescue Mission, a proud graduate of the New Life program. Dina, it's been a while since we've had some quality time together. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin.
Tell us a little bit about your experience graduating from the New Life program.
Well, I graduated last September, but I actually did the walk for graduation just a week ago. And it's actually been really awesome since I finished the program. I have moved out and live in transitional housing that's provided by the mission. And I also work in the volunteer department.
Well, that's outstanding. What was it like, though, for you to grow as a person with your life experience? How did that compare to going through the New Life program? And as you were going through the graduation ceremony, what went on in your mind about the journey? Can you share any of that with us?
Well, it actually got pretty overwhelming when I thought about what I had done. It really, I just was overwhelmed with emotion at what I had accomplished and what I had opened my heart to with my relationship with God. And it opened my heart to the donors and all the volunteers that we have, and a lot of them were there, at the graduation, supporting us still in just being there to celebrate that with us. So I was overwhelmed with a lot of different emotions.
How does one open their heart to God? How did you do that?
It took me a while. It was a journey. I fought it, and I had to become humble and know that there was something bigger than myself, and that I needed that. I needed that help.
When we're looking at helping people through the summer, what's the summer like for the folks at the Rescue Mission? What would you like to say to encourage people to give here to this morning?
In the summertime, we need more help because the kids are out of school, so we are serving more children at lunchtime. We have a pretty large kids program in the summertime. We like to do a lot of activities with them so that they can have as normal a summertime as possible. They don't choose to be in the shelter, so we want to do as much as possible for them through the summer, so it really helps, when the volunteers can donate to that program.
Sure, and we encourage that. What's next for you, Dina?
I don't know. All I see is a bright future and just the love of God and what He has next for me.
When you talk about that, where you were and where you're going, anything else you'd like to share with us on that? Just looking back and looking forward?
I have hope now, and that was something I didn't have before. I have hope, and I just have love on my heart. And, I have love on my heart for the mission. And when you've gone through one of their programs, you can't help but to have that on your heart, to give back and to want to see people help, and you want to help people. So I want to see people come to the mission, get the help that they need, and to have the love that they deserve.
And to be a part of that.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dina.
You're welcome.
Kevin Miller in the morning. Let's go to Liberty Linda at KIDO Talk Radio, 580 AM, 107.5 FM. Good morning, Liberty Linda.
Yes, good morning, Kevin. I just want to say that I agree with what William Dean said the other day. President Trump starts out so strongly about something, then later he may give a little about it. I believe that because President Trump really likes people so much, even liberals. So President Trump needs to stick to what he originally says is right for our country and what he promises we the people, and not get swayed by the liberals.
Well, maybe
I really believe that.
Maybe he's listening. Maybe he's listening right now. That would be great advice.
Well, he truly likes all people, and I think he says things so strongly in the beginning, and later he kind of drops off, a little bit. And I think it's because he likes the liberals too, which I do too. There are a lot of liberals out there. I like his people. I just don't like their policies for our country.
So you would go up and hug a liberal?
I would.
I don't know if they'd want to hug.
I like a person and not like what their politics is.
Well, sometimes they can't separate that, can they?
Well, yeah. I hear what you're saying, because we love our country so much and we have to keep it strong. We just maybe need to teach them. Maybe they just have been taught incorrectly in their lives.
You're willing not only to hug a liberal, but to teach them.
I think that would be wonderful.
Wow.
I mean, just somewhere along the line, they got mixed up. Like the NFL. I think it's so wonderful with the president, what they have done. And, I just love our president so much. He is a strong person. He just gets swayed a little bit.
Liberty Linda, it's been over a week since we've had that contentious primary. What do you think's next for Dr. Ahlquist?
I think he may run for president. I've said that before. It wouldn't surprise me.
Really?
I think he's a very good man. So many of his talks I've heard, and I just think he would have been wonderful for our state, And, now we have the people in whom have been voted in, so we need to work with them and try to make the best out of Idaho. That's what I think. And our best goes to Rush Fulcher. I hope that he heals well. It's amazing what happened to him.
Time to stay off those motorcycles.
I know it. And now he has to tell his brother, I guess. I think it was his brother's motorcycle. But he was just going out having fun. He was feeling good about it all, I'm sure.
Liberty Linda, thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. Thank you so much. You're wonderful.
Well, you have a great day.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Big news coming out nationally.
This is a great opportunity to continue that partnership with our players and keep the focus on the progress and the programs that we think are so important in the communities. We're proud of that support, and we think that that's how change is really going to be made.
There we have it. No more kneeling at NFL games. Otherwise, Roger Goodell.
We want people to be respectful at the national anthem. We want people to stand. That's all personnel, and make sure that they treat this moment in a respectful fashion.
We'll delve into that deeper when we talk about the national anthem and the Pledge of Allegiance next on 580 AM, 107.5 FM, KIDO Talk Radio.
The first thing that we see a lot of times is just a loss of hope, a lack of hope in their life. And, with addiction, it's, a lot of times it isn't the party scene like a lot of people, outside of the world of addiction view it as. It's not, looking for a high. It's really looking to feel normal. So we see a lot of people that just don't have hope in how to feel normal in life. In restoring family, not only with the education, the classes that we have, in strengthening families, but really it's just, at the essence of a lot of addictive behaviors is just relationships with people, and just learning how to love, learning really more importantly how to trust people. And when you do that and you take care of yourself and you focus on you, that first and foremost, then it allows others to get into your life where you can take care of them too. Boy, I tell you what, it's just being a successful contributor to society is one aspect of it, and people that are surrounded by the Holy Spirit and the lessons that they've learned from that when they can truly leave the program understanding that everything is inside of them. It's not an act, it's not a persona that they've created. It truly is understanding how God has worked in their lives, and they've taken the education and all the good things that we do, understanding that the brotherhood within the group for the men's shelter and the program, and just a very holistic perspective on an individual contribution to life. When they've been in that environment with grandparents, family members that have struggled with addiction, and it's not just it's a family disease, and it impacts everybody in it. So what the program, the shelter does for kids is, and I can't measure it, because I think when you're around people who care, staff members that genuinely care, and pour their heart into helping them, and realizing that, not only are there good people out there that want to help them, but they can help restore the relationships with family and members that, they possibly didn't have that trust in before. And just rebuilding that is just a wonderful thing.
And won't you help us help the Boise Rescue Mission? Kevin Miller in the morning, 580 AM, 107.5 FM, KIDO Talk Radio. Miller's Mission Day number, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter. The need continues. We would love to see you here. We're broadcasting live from the Nampa Walmart, Garrity and Franklin. And all the proceeds go to the Boise Rescue Mission Clothes for Kids. Thank you all. So many folks who have stopped by and made a difference. Our top story of the day nationally has to be two things involving the President of the United States. And really it comes down to, do you respect America? Do you respect the national anthem? This was the President earlier this morning on Fox and Friends.
I don't think people should be staying in locker rooms, but still I think it's good. You have to stand proudly for the national anthem. Well, you shouldn't be playing. You shouldn't be there. Maybe you shouldn't be in the country.
Time to go. Oh, we have the freedom to do this, the freedom to do that. The NFL capitulating, saying, look, the president is right. We do not want any more erosion of our ratings. We don't want the players vilified. It's not about the First Amendment. It's about money. But really, it's more about patriotism. More on that in a minute. First, traffic and weather together. And if you're wondering what the new policy is and whether or not it's time to go back to football, let's get the latest from our own Peter Schwartz at KIDO Talk Radio.
A new policy adopted by the NFL calls for team and league personnel that are on the field to stand and show respect for the flag and the anthem. Personnel who choose not to stand for the anthem may stay in the locker room or in a similar location off the field until the anthem is over. Browns quarterback Tyrod Taylor would have preferred that the players be involved in making a policy.
To make a decision that strong, you would hope that the players have input on it, but obviously not. That's what we have to deal with as players, not for good or a bad thing, but at the end of the day, they call the shots and make the rules, so that's what we have to abide by.
The NFL Players Association says it'll review the new policy and challenge any aspect of it that is inconsistent with the collective bargaining agreement. Peter Schwartz, Fox News.
If only the NFL Players Association and NFL players, and not all of them, but would really get a grip on reality. Here we have Memorial Day weekend, and the NFL is sitting back thinking, well, we're going to investigate whether or not, they have the power to do this. They're the NFL Players Association, not the NFL owners. There's a big difference. Now, this is a tale as old as time. Can you express yourself at work? Does the First Amendment really exist in the office? And if you practice that politically, does it really end well? Unless you're working for a similar political active organization. If your group is involved in, let's say, conservative politics, well then sure, that's a good thing. But if you're involved in nonpartisan work, if you're just involved in shipping or selling or moving or computing or anything else, politics really doesn't have a place in the workplace. So why should it in entertainment? Hey, Tyrod Taylor, work on getting the Cleveland Browns a win and save the political commentary for the experts. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Maggie.
Good.
KIDO Talk Radio, Kevin Miller in the morning. Tammy joins us now from the Boise Rescue Mission, volunteer coordinator. This isn't your first rodeo, Tammy. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
Not bad indeed. What's it like working with folks that, are volunteering, coming in on their own time, whether they're retired or looking to help the community in addition to their family and in addition to their work responsibilities?
Well, it's a lot of fun. I love my job. I think I have a really fun job at the Rescue Mission. We have a really great community that comes in and gives a lot of time. We have a little over 8,000 volunteers that come in every year to give their time to us, in just all different areas too, whether serving meals, working with the kids, working in the program, helping with events. It's a really neat thing to see our community coming together that way.
And coming up, Tammy, please stand by. We'll have much more on Miller's Mission continuing. Clothes for Kids. We'll hear more from Tammy. Joining us now, live from Chicago, Jeff Monasso of Fox News Radio. Jeff, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kevin.
Well, you've got the topic of the day.
Yeah, lots of people are wanting to talk about this. It is an issue that I think most Americans thought was kind of going away. Not a chance. Under the new NFL policy rules, NFL players and personnel on the field will now have to stand for the national anthem in respect of the American flag and the anthem. Those who choose not to, they can do so in the locker room or somewhere else out of sight. And this, as you know, follows huge league-wide fan backlash, plummeting ratings and ticket sales last year, even the year before.
And the president earlier this morning on Fox and Friends seemingly endorsing the policy. Of course, he did say that if you don't stand for the national anthem, maybe you shouldn't be in the league or shouldn't be in the country. Interesting, he continues to talk about this as well.
So he takes the baton, and that's going to carry several news cycles for sure. But I think that President Trump's supporters know exactly where he stands and exactly what that means. Although it's pretty provocative and will be used again for news cycles to come in the coming days, weeks, probably months. We've heard from two owners, or at least higher up execs. One owner, a New York Jets, his Christopher Johnson, who says, "We'll pay the fine. We're not going to punish our players for doing this." 49er CEO Jed York contradicting the commissioner who said that they were all in agreement, and he says that he abstained. He didn't feel comfortable making this decision involving the players without the players' union. Players' union says it's reviewing the policy. It's a policy, though, that mirrors the NBA. The NBA has not had a problem, I think, because the NBA squashed the issue immediately. And so you've got the NFL, and this is the fallout of not taking control of the situation. And, all fingers are pointing at Roger Goodell for not taking control of the situation. And, he's a polarizing guy, as it is. And you've got the, defenders of free speech up in arms saying that, we're not going to stand for this, no pun intended. Eagles safety Malcolm Jenkins saying, "I won't be silenced." So here we go again into a season where everybody's going to be watching for the politics and the divisiveness and the garbage when fans just want to watch football for what it is. And we'll see about ratings and ticket sales and all that. But here we go again.
Well, only 100 more days before football, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. And I think that fans really, one of the things that the real threat to the NFL is that once fans break out of their habit of watching football on Sundays, Monday nights, and Thursdays. I mean, that really is, it's a commitment. It's a habit that they've acquired over, years. Once they break out of that, it's hard to get somebody back into their habit. And so I think the fear is that you're going to lose these fans. You're going to lose people watching and tuning in because they don't want to see it. They want to see football. I think the plurality of people, based on our reporting, is that everybody believes that voices should be heard, but not when it comes to the national anthem, and not when we're tuning in to watch you play football. Do it off work. You make millions of dollars. You're very blessed. Do it. You have a platform. Do it somewhere else. And I think that the NFL is this is what it's for, not dealing with it right away. This is the outcome, and who knows where it's going to go, but certainly it's going to be interesting to watch, and people are certainly talking about it.
Jeff Monosso, we appreciate you, and thank you for joining us this morning, sir.
Thanks, Kevin.
Jeff Monosso joining us, Fox News Radio on KIDO Talk Radio. Kevin Miller in the morning, 580 AM, 107.5 FM, live from the Napa Walmart. Tammy rejoins us once again, talking a little bit about your donations for the Boise Rescue Mission, Clothes for Kids. Twice a year, we live at the Napa Walmart. So, Tammy, tell us about the donations. And for people just tuning in, they may not be familiar with the Boise Rescue Mission. Maybe they moved in from out of town. Where do these donations go? How do they make a difference?
Well, the donations go to all of our facilities. They will go to people who are living in our guest services area, which is like our homeless shelter piece. People that are going through our New Life Recovery program. All of the donations are going to help just people who are really in need, trying to get back on their feet.
Such as, like, if you could give us an example.
Well, I'll give you myself as an example.
If you're comfortable with that. If not, that's okay, too.
Yeah. I came to the mission in 2002. I was a very big mess. I had 3 little children with me. I was a young mom, and we didn't have anything. And we needed a big change, and there we found God. The mission helped us get on our feet. I went through the New Life Recovery program, and now it's just been an amazing thing for our life.
You make it sound so easy. I'm sure it wasn't.
No, it was really hard. It was very hard, but it's very much worth it. I knew that my kids needed a better life. I knew they needed something more. And, now they're all in college and doing really well.
And when you saw those donations coming in and you could put them to good use, how did that make you feel, ma'am?
Very blessed, very overwhelmed. It was just nice to know that I could take that year off and spend with my kids and find that healing, and then get out there and give back as well. So I really believe the mission is they're not just changing the lives that are there, it's generational changes for people and families.
And not only people that are living at the mission, but you have people that come in every day for a meal. It's amazing what you guys do when you think about feeding all those folks, the working poor and people that are living there and stuff. We forget about that.
That is true, too.
Tammy, great job. You always sweat these things. Great job. No worries. No worries. Thank you.
Thank you.
580-5436, 580-KIDO. So we've got a few topics here. Number one, you can get your reaction to the NFL capitulating to President Trump and the players saying, we're not going to be silenced. I'm sorry. Just throw the football. Just hold on to the football. That's what we pay you to do, to entertain us. Now, if you want to be Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity, you're more than welcome to go audition for Fox News or MSNBC or perhaps CNN.
Their attendance was down, their TV ratings were down, and I think they finally realized that they're a business and they need to pay attention to what the American people, their consumers, demand, and that's respect for our flag and respect for our country.
It's a disgusting, racist move by the NFL. They don't respect the players' right to free speech. They aren't fine with just letting them do their symbolic protests. They feel a need, I think, because they're worried about repercussions from the president. that they're going to stamp all over the players' rights.
I'm tired of the kneeling. I mean, they should respect the guys that are protecting their country and their right to do that. I get their right; they get that right, but I don't agree with it.
This is another sign of the lack of black ownership in the NFL. The fact that there are no black owners. And the players have to learn from this experience.
They should let guys do whatever they want. Freedom of speech, you know?
Peaceful protest is an American right.
I just believe that everything is media motivated anyways. And, the cameras aren't on them. No one will even realize that they're there or not.
Your calls next, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Blessed to be part of your day, taking your phone calls on the new NFL policy and the president saying, look, you're not down with America. Maybe it's time you hit the road. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Let's go to Mike Tracy. Mike Tracy, good to have you with us.
Good morning, Kevin. And before I get on to NFL, again, great job that you're doing for Reverend Bill and all the group. And I love those testimonials that you're doing of people's lives being saved and changed. And it's I've seen that happen, and I've seen presentations at various events and seen the young people and some older people who have been saved by the Boise Rescue Mission programs. And you're hosting your events out in Nampa this week. Is that correct?
We're living at the Walmart in Garrity and Franklin, Mike.
Well, I'm going to be tomorrow morning. I'm going to be bringing out some children's clothing out there, and maybe some. Young at heart adult clothing as well, because I have to come out to Nampa, and I just think what you guys are doing is great. It really helps the people of the Treasure Valley and around the state of Idaho.
Well, thank you, Mike. It'll be good to see you.
It'd be good to see you too. I listened to the president make that comment this morning, and I cringed just a tiny bit, and then I did like you. I laughed. I said, I'm sure that the rest of the media will jump on this. Sure enough, I checked NBC and ABC this morning, and they blasted away at him and said that he was, trying to take away people's First Amendment rights. Well, he was simply, using his First Amendment rights as the President of the United States. And my daughter, I'll just make a little plug for her, sang the national anthem for the President of the United States in 2005 in Nampa at the Ford Idaho Center in August of 2005. And everybody stood for the national anthem. There were 10,000 people there. And that's what we do in America. And she has been singing the national anthem at events since she was 10 years old. And she's an opera singer. And that's what you do. You stand up. And, our family plays baseball. And you don't see a lot of baseball players doing that. In fact, I think maybe one or two have done that. And it sounds to me like they've been taken into the dugout after the game and been scolded. So you don't see it in other sports, especially baseball. That's like mother and apple pie. The NFL is going to have to learn the hard way. You know what? The owners do not own the players, but they certainly own their contracts. And if they don't want them, look what's happened to Colin Kaepernick, who was a thorn in the side of Boise State University football for the 4 years he was at University of Nevada. And I don't feel a bit sorry for him. He hasn't had to play during most of his $19 million contract.
No, you're right about that, and his lawsuit against the NFL and everything else.
Yeah, I just don't see an upside for the NFL. In fact, I heard a really good suggestion that could be added to this by several people in the sports arena. And that would be if a player or a coach decides to do this, they do not get to participate in the game. So if a coach does it, he's ejected. If a player does it, he doesn't play. And the owner or the president of that particular organization can do that. You don't see that at hockey games for the Steelheads. I'll bet you've never seen a player, take a knee. I think the rest of the hockey players would take their sticks and pummel that hockey player if they tried to do that in the United States. That wouldn't fly in hockey. It doesn't fly in baseball. I can't speak for other sports, but those are sports that you can't get away with that kind of thing. So anyway, that's my opinion. The national anthem is sacred to me. I served in the Air Force at the tail end of the Vietnam War. My mother and father were in the Korean War, in the Marines and the Navy. My brother was also in the Air Force. There's a lot of military personnel on both my wife's side of the family. She had people fight in both World War I and World War II. Her great-grandfather and her grandfather fought in those wars. So I don't have a lot of sympathy for people who, are losing. The only thing they're losing is money out of their pocket. They're not losing anything else, or maybe they're losing some respect from the fans. Because, the NFL lost 10% of the viewership last year, and the NFL owners know, point blank, it's a business first. It's a game second, and players learn that when they go from the college level very quickly, that it turns from a game to a business. So that's my 2 cents worth. That's not near as important as the work you're doing for the Boise Rescue Mission, Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. We appreciate that. And let's, Ray Maya, that's a great idea. Why don't we, in honor of America, Memorial Day, here's our friends at the Eagle High School Choir singing the national anthem.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight for the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the home of the brave.
And we want to thank our friends at the Eagle High School Choir for that incredible rendition of the national anthem. Why would anyone take a knee during the national anthem is beyond me. 580 AM, 107.5 FM, KIDO Talk Radio, traffic and weather. And this just in, the president canceling the Singapore summit with North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un. More coming up at the top of the hour from Fox News, but the president has canceled the summit in Singapore with Kim Jong-un. It's amazing the press calls him the leader. He's a dictator. He's a killer. And the president has said, not so fast, John. You're not going to be meeting with us. Much more on coming up on that. We'll have, of course, more of your thoughts and views as the sounds and sights of the Nampa Walmart here in beautiful Garrity and Franklin and downtown Nampa, Idaho. A little on the outskirts of downtown, midtown, uptown, downtown, whatever. We continue on from the parking lot. We're here till Saturday at 6, tonight until 7, collecting clothes for kids for our friends at the Boise Rescue Mission. If you're new to Idaho, maybe you're from Washington, Oregon, or Colorado, or California, why not stop by and really become a part of our great community? More coming up next. 580 AM, 107.5 FM, KIDO Talk Radio.